Welcome to this new video. This video is regarding calculation groups in Power BI. So earlier calculation group was there only as an external tool. It was in tabular editor. Right now then they have updated it Power BI desktop itself. So what does calculation group help us in creating the report? So calculation groups can significantly reduce the number of redundant measures you have to create by allowing you define DAX expression as calculation items that apply to the existing measures in your model. So if suppose you are having lots of explicit measures are the measures that we are creating outside the column, outside the table. So if you are having lots of explicit measures, it is difficult to take everything and calculate everything and plot it in the report. So instead of that, calculated groups will group the measures with respect to the names, and that will be selected to the report. Suppose if you're having total sales with respect to shipping date. Now we have two dates here. Now we have two dates here. One is shipping date and another one is delivery date. So if you are writing sales with respect to shipping date and delivery date, we will get two measures. And if you are writing YTD, MTD and QTD, you will be having 3 plus 3 6 measures. So it will be difficult to contain all the measures in the report. Instead of that, you can create a group and you can specify it in the report. In this video, we are going to see how we can do that using total sales. We have one measure, total sales, but with this one measure, we are going to show the delivery date as well as the shipping date. That means the delivery sales and the shipping sales. So for that, we need to create a calculated group. So how we need to create the calculated group is that you need to go to the modeling tab. At the modeling tab, we can see here we have in the data, we have the tables as well as the models. So in that semantic model, we have a segment called calculation groups. Now we haven't created any calculation group here. When you see the measure, we have one measure that is total sales. We have total sales. What we are going to do is that we will create one calculated group which will contain total sales for shipping date as well as the delivery date. So only shipping date is configured and have a active relationship. For delivery date we don't have. We need to create the relationship with the use of user relationship DAX function. So we will right click here and we will create new calculation group. So it will give a warning that okay, implicit measures will be discouraged in this model. So we can give it as yes. And of course, we are getting this calculated measure. So why with this calculated measure? So it is like a dynamic change in the report. So instead of total sales, if you are creating selected measure, so whichever measure is being selected in the current context, that measure will be taken here in the place of total sales. So all the measure will be changed to selected measure. So suppose if you are now here we have shipped sales. Now if you have delivered sales, the measure here will be the same selected measure, but the user relationship here we will be changing it to delivery date. So we will go and see that. We will do it here. So instead of this calculation item, we will remove it as delivery date. Delivery date equals to calculate. And here we need to give it as selected measure, and then we will give it as user relationship, and we need to relate it with calendar date and delivery date. So we got a measure for delivery date, and we can use the same thing for shipment date. So we will once again create a new calculated item and we can paste it here itself, and we will create it as shipped date equals to, and instead of delivery date here we can change it to ship date. So in this group we are having delivery date and ship date measure, and here we will rename it as totals. So we have a group that is called totals, and in that group we have delivery date and shipment date. So we will go to the report view, and in this report view we will go to the page. In this page we are having the metrics table that contains the year as well as the total sales. This total sales is this measure which we have done. This measure is just simply sum of all the of the units. Now we will use the grouping in this, and we will change this total sales dynamically with respect to delivery date as well as shipping date. You can see one more table got added. It is called calculation group, and this group we have totals. We will see how we are going to use these totals. You remember that, okay, the group we have named it as totals. So here we will add one more thing. We will add a slicer. In this slicer, we will select the totals. You can see both the grouping item which we have written has been included in this totals in this slicer, that is delivery date as well as shipment date. We will format this. Now, of course, we have written the code for delivery date as well as shipping date in the group. Now, here it is not shown, but in the group, if you go and see, it will be there. So right now, this is the default. It is shipping date. That is because it is having an active relationship with the shipping date and the calendar. So if you are selecting the ship date, it is not changing. But at the same time, when you select the delivery date, it will change. So this is one of the use of calculation groups. There are lots of other use. This is one of the use in this video. The other uses we will be seeing in the next videos. So here we can change the shipping date as well as the delivery date with respect to the calculation group. Hope this was an informative one. Have a nice day.